Please, we are following. We'll still go back to the recording, but we are following.
All right. So I just got someone's question. Please, what's the use of the NGINX? You may not worry about NGINX for this class, but let me just tell you, NGINX is a web server. Okay. What is a web server? A web server is how do I put it now? When you go to google.com now, when you go to google.com, what you are actually doing is you are actually eating Google server. So is that web server that will route, that will just take you around like, okay, what are you trying to access? What is the website you're trying to access? What page are you trying to access? What are you trying to do? That's what your web server is. So NGINX is an example of a web server. We can talk about that later. It's our class. I think our class did not really talk about this, but I'll just try and fit it in and just show one or two things in configuring a web server. Okay, so now let me check something. What is the IP of this machine? Now, if the port of this machine is actually visible, once I open this, it should show the NGINX server. It should show welcome to NGINX. All right, so you can see. So now I can configure these things to be anything, which is what you'll be doing as a DevOps engineer. This is what we just did. Just that simple command that I ran, like apt install NGINX and apt start NGINX. That is what is showing this. So now let me stop this and see. System ctl stop NGINX. System ctl stop NGINX. So you see I've stopped the NGINX web server now. Let me restart this page. It will be gone. Now DevOps is getting more interesting. And this is what you'll be doing. You see, gone. Okay, so now the reason why you're able to access it is because of this security group we actually configured on the server to allow all traffic. There's something we call security group. If you remember that I was telling you security group, security, inbound traffic. If you look at inbound traffic, I told you this place when we were spinning up the instance, source from anywhere, protocol, all ports. If I limit this now not to be all ports, if I limit this to only port 22, we will not be able to access it as well. Okay, so those are some of the things you'll be learning as the class goes on. So let me start the NGINX server and reload. So for Linux administration, I'll just put an end to it here. So from here, we should go to Git. Okay, so before we call it a day, please, do you have any question?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I asked a question the other time, but I don't know what happened. So my question is it possible for us to get the topic that will be treated before the class?
Yes,
so that we can prepare ahead of the class.
Of course. Now it's getting more straightforward. I told you this is just Linux administration, and when you look at what I highlighted as the curriculum, we actually have Linux. Did I mention Linux? I think I mentioned Linux. The next thing we'll be doing now is Git. So if you want to read anything now, you can just go ahead and read about Git. Git. For the next class now.
Okay.
So now, what is Git? Now, probably a lot of people are actually used to GitHub. GitHub is just a service provider, just the same way you have your GitLab, you have your Bitbucket, But the tool for managing, the tool itself is actually called Git. Okay, so now the next class is we are going to be talking more about Git itself. Okay, so Git is a type of is a source code management tool for managing your code, your local code, your remote, your repositories. That's what Git is used for, and that's what we'll be doing extensively in next class. It should not take more than one class anyway, because I don't really think there's anything much there, but it's a very important tool, especially for your automations.
Thank you.
Okay. So please, do you have any other questions?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Please, can we install the NGINX as well?
It's not necessary.
Is it necessary?
Yes, it's not. I just used that to show you, one or two things anyway. And I'm happy I use NGINX. At least you can see the beauty of DevOps now. So you are getting
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
It's getting more interesting.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I said it's a little bit difficult at the start, but the deeper we go, the more interesting it becomes. Trust me. I know what I'm saying. The most hectic part, is what we've just concluded now, which is the Linux. Just finding your way around the terminal. But the interesting part, we are about to unleash the interesting part of it.
Hello, Bolu.
Okay, I'm with you.
So I'm just trying to figure my head around the NGINX and this display that I'm having here. So is this NGINX that we are seeing graphically like this?
Yes, of course. Now, what you're seeing here now, what you're seeing here, let me just show you now. I can change what we have here. Let me change it for you, and you can see what I'm talking about. You just annotated my screen, right? How do we delete this annotation now? I don't know how to delete annotation. I'll check that out. Okay, now, so now this particular file you are seeing here, this particular thing you are seeing here, let me show you where it is. I think it's inside, is it etc? I don't really know the default NGINX share. Sorry, we're actually done for today anyway. I'm just trying to answer a few questions. So that's what it's making us to exceed. That might make us to exceed normal time. So etc ls etc share. Where is it located? ls etc nginx. Okay, we have conf.d. Okay, fine. Inside this conf.d, I can see. I think I should be able to nginx.conf. nginx.conf. I can play inside nginx.conf and see the default location. I can show you more about this anyway, but I just want to show you how I'm changing it. How I'm changing what you're seeing on that page. I can easily change it here. So I actually want to get the default location for this page you're seeing. So this is the file. How do I see? Sorry, it's not here. I can overwrite it anyway. I can overwrite it. I think this is where I can overwrite it. But instead of me just overwriting it, I don't want to overwrite it. I just want to use the default one. I'll take time to explain more of this NGINX configuration file, how you can play around it. It's been a while I use NGINX. etc NGINX. Where do I see it? Conf.d. Is it conf.d? Conf.d. Conf.d is just a way for overriding ls etc share. Is there anything like share? Find this name share. I actually forgot the default location. Okay, I think it's USR. ls USR share. Okay, NGINX. Okay, HTML. Okay, so let me just see the USR share NGINX ls. So ls HTML, ls HTML. Let's see what we have. Okay, so this is the default file now. Let me just change it, and you see it in action. vi index.html. So welcome to NGINX. Welcome to NGINX, which is what you're seeing here. So let's say welcome to Devops class. Just like people that have done HTML, so you can just tweak around, play around. Welcome to Devops class. Then you close it, WQ, and then it's not going to take effect until you restart the server, systemctl, until you restart the NGINX web server itself. So this is the command for restarting. Restart NGINX. So once it's restarted, you can reload. It should take effect here, I think. Oh, why? Come on, please don't do this to me. Okay. I guess maybe I missed out something.
Recording in progress.
Hello, Bolu.
Hello, yeah, I'm here. So
I want to ask a question now. So in that case, so should in case I have like a website,
okay.
they can just give me as an app, then I will deploy it like that.
Exactly. You can even start something
Right?
like Google Host. Exactly. All these Google Hosts, and you turn yourself to web hosting company. You can do it, like, can just spin up, if you have the time, spin up an EC2 instance, but they will question you. How good are you? You know, that's where where is it called? Your what? How do I put it now? Your professionalism, like how trusted are you? Can you really do it? It's starting a web hosting company is as simple as this. On this same server like this, I can spin up almost different. I can spin up. I can host a lot of websites, 100. You know, just configure my websites, and it will be running. I'll be charging people for it. It's as simple as anything. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually been a while, and I didn't really know why this is not really taking effect. Maybe I'm missing out something. I'm trying to recollect what I could be missing, but I could not. I don't
You
know.
can't see your screen yet.
I can't see your screen.
All right, let me share.
I'm not sure you started sharing the screen.
So now, I edited title, not the stuff itself. So when you look at the title, I think I edited the title. Let me try to change the document itself, the H1. Those are no HTML. You know, this is title. So let me change the content itself, because I was more confused, like, why is the changes not taking effect? Devops class. So let's restart. Systemctl restart NGINX. Please don't disappoint me, please. Please. Hey. What's happening? if you see this page, NGINX is successfully installed. Yeah, of course, this is what we are seeing. I guess it's serving another file from somewhere else, and I need to figure it out. Maybe it has another file.
Can you try the one that has paragraph? Like this one for online documentation. Can you edit from that place?
Okay, let me just try to figure it out. Now, to figure it out, I have to get where this configuration file is. I guess it's serving from different location. It's serving it from different location. So let me just see modules. Let me see modules. Cannot be modules. ls modules available. Cannot be anywhere yet. So ls cd.ls pwd NGINX. So let me go to etc NGINX and see what we have here. So this is conf.d. This is NGINX. Fast CGI. Okay, let me change this. NGINX config. Oh, okay, yeah, fine. I can even search. How am I even using my search? So that is search index.html name index.html, so you can know other files that is being served. Take time. Okay, while that is running, let me see if I can have another one to just do my own findings myself. Please, this is just a troubleshooting session for me, so we're actually done with the class. So I beg you. Because I try as much as possible to avoid in our class. So if you are not interested in this troubleshooting session for me, with me, can just
actually, it's interesting. You are making use of all the syntax you've taught us. So.
Yeah, all right. So, troubleshooting, exactly, it's unavoidable. So okay, we have one here. We have different. So why is this not changing? Should be it. I'm not sure it should be this. Let me cut and see what we have. Cut v cut v. It can't be this. Something, guy, please. Okay, so let me just open and check all the files one after the other. So we have this. We've checked the first one. Cannot be this. Cannot be this. I believe I'm in the right place. I'm trying to figure out what's happening. Why is it not updating? Or is it like it's saving a cache file? What's happening? Catch file. Okay. This thing is embarrassing me right now. Okay, I think another thing I can do, if that's giving me a problem, I should be able to override the configuration. So this is the configuration file itself. So there are different blocks. They have the parent block and the children block. So this thing, it's not like you must know it. Every tool has their own configuration. So if I knew it, the fact that I knew it was because I've used it before. It's not like you're expected to know all these things offhand. So please don't get scared. Every tool has their own configuration. Okay, so it's just for me to just read the documentation and get over it. So me, I'm just using my previous experience because I've worked with this in the past. So there's not to really get scared. All right, so now this is the server block, which I think we'll be needing anyway. So we need this server block. Let me play around and see for port 80. Okay, this is for mail, which is not what I want. Yeah. All right, so in this case now, let me try to create another server block. I'm going to try to create another server block.
Please, how do you
Your voice is breaking. Is it my end?
the VI function?
The VI, I just navigated to this directory. I already know where the directory is. I know where the directory is. So this is directory, then you use your VI to open the NGINX. It's the conf file. That's the default configuration file. Let me try. It's been a while. How can I do this? I think I have to create a new block. I have to create this new block. I have to create a new block. Does the name really matter? I really don't want to do this anyway. Please let me just try to figure this out later.
Oh, don't stress yourself. Just take your time.
Yeah,
please.
I'll try to figure it out on my own anyway. So
right,
if I really just want to learn more for online documentation and support, so you have this, and just go around or probably how to deploy NGINX, So be careful, some OS are different. So don't go and be following CentOS tutorial for Ubuntu, So it's always advisable you put the kind of OS NGINX on Ubuntu. Okay, install NGINX. So let's see. Accept all sites. What do you need to install NGINX? Installing NGINX. Okay, let me need to go. So apt install NGINX. Okay. Creating your own website. So cd into vir www cd what's this virtual system cd this make directory this cd tutorial sudo editor index dot. Okay, so paste this index. Okay, then how do you change the location? Setting up the virtual host, that is what we are missing. So now this is another way for setting up their virtual host. Okay, so you create your server block. Let me see, maybe that was what they used. They are using the virtual host. Let me see the site enabled. This is site enabled. You have site available and site enabled. So another way for creating virtual hosts, you can use virtual host. Site enabled actually means you can configure different hosts. Different websites, just like the question that was initially asked. But how do you available? You can create a lot of them, but then you now have to enable it. Like if you want to disable, instead of you delete it, that's what these sites available and site enable are for. So you can configure a virtual host, but it will not be visible until you enable it. Okay, so let's see what we have inside site enabled and site available.
So that's like a clone.
No, not a clone. Virtual host, just like you have your hosting company.
Oh.
You know Google Host, of course, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this was what I was trying to reconfigure. Server on port 80. Yeah. So this is what I was trying to look for. Okay. Then you have your site enabled. Okay. So into site enabled. Okay. Root is a directory where. Okay. So you can easily configure. You can change that the default location of the index.html. That is what is happening here. Let me just explain this. So this is entering into the site enabled. Then it's changing to a user called tutorial. Then inside that file, this is how you now create different virtual hosts. If you want to create a new virtual host, you just use server. Okay. Then now you now configure the port. It's telling it like, okay, listing on port 81, and this one is telling it this is just for specifying the IP of the server. So it said listing on port 81. Then the server name. Let's assume you already have a DNS configured for the virtual machine, pointing to the virtual machine. So you just specify the server name here. Then the location of the website, of the page of the website. This is what this is talking about. Then those that knows index.html, this is your home page, your default home page. And this is routing rules anyway. So can just leave these are your routing rules. So you can just overlook that for now. So now activating the virtual host. Okay, so you just restart after adding to site enabled. Now this is not even the efficient way of doing it. This thing can really crash a server. They added it to site enabled straight, and that's not how to do it. The way to do it is the standard way of doing it is add it to site available. So you can have different sites inside site available. Okay, then there's now something they now call symlink. They call it symlink, like linking. If I create a file inside a particular directory, so it will automatically create inside another directory. You now symlink the site available and site enabled. You can just read about it to symlink. It's not.
Is that load balancing?
No. This is not even load balancing. Load balancing is on another level on its own. We've not load balanced yet. Okay, so let me exit this WQ. Why did I do save? Hope I did not change anything. Okay, so this is, let's see what we have inside site available and site enabled. Site available. We have a default. Then let's see what we have inside site enabled. Sites. So we have almost the same thing. So now let's see what the content of what we have inside sites enabled. Default. Okay, so let me I'm going to override it now. Okay, and to specify my own location, I can specify my own root directory where I want it to serve from. So you can see it now. Any comment, there's something we call comment for those that are used to programming. Comment actually means just to give a note about a particular thing. It's not really doing anything. Okay, so comments are in blue. They are in blue. How do you comment? You just push this hash before a line. So all these lines now are commented. So these are the active line. Listing is telling it listing on port 80. Okay, so let's go down and see what we can change. Now this is where it's serving from. That's why I was not able to change it. So let's see what we have here. Let's see what we have here. So I was checking etc share NGINX something then. But now this is what this is even configured inside the server itself. Let me create a new terminal. Start session. Sudo su. Okay, so let's see what we have here. ls var www html. Oh, see what is serving. cd var www html. So it's not using. Okay, you see, it's different. So it's telling it like inside this directory, look for any of these files. If you see index, or if you see index.html, or if you see index.htm, or if you see index nginx this, but this is what is there. So this is what is serving. So now let me edit this file now. So this is what we are seeing. Then we can restart system ctl restart NGINX, and then let's reload our page. Where's our IP address? Okay, she should be ready for data production. What's happening? Why is it not showing? It will change. Just continue the process you are following, but we restart this. Please, when you get it, help us to record it and send it to us. Thanks, bro. So now, why are we having this? Why? Question is, why are we having this? After updating the file, I didn't really do anything catastrophic anyway, so it's a good one. I didn't really change anything, so why am I having this? It's a huge question itself. I've made the changes already, so restart NGINX. Okay. Stop. It's not even showing anything again. Okay, yeah. I will have to troubleshoot that again and see what is happening. I just try to start and stop. It's still the same thing, but it's fine. Let me see. Then if that doesn't work, now
on your own, you can redeploy it afresh now.
yeah, of course. When you're in production, you don't just want to do things anyhow, because a lot of people are watching. So we are just doing this because, in fact, to a reasonable extent, I'm still reckless, but I don't want to be reckless. So in production, you have to be very, very careful. You don't just want to redeploy. You don't just want to restart server. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. You can imagine Google going down for 1 minute. You know how internet you hear it everywhere just because somebody is starting a server. So you have to avoid that by all means. You don't just want, if you have a problem, you don't just want to restart server. Okay, so now,
and someone said something that if you want to deploy, you have to clone.
Make a backup. Yeah.
I don't know.
Make a backup.
Yeah, you have to have like a backup. Yeah. So if one is having issue, the other one can be serving.
Yes. Look at what is happening here. Please take a look. You see, I just tried to call my local host. Now, right? And look at what we have. Welcome to Devops. So now, this is actually telling us this thing is serving on my local host, but it's not available on the internet. So now the problem is internet itself. I have to figure that out. Like, locally, it's accessible. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Locally, it's accessible.
We are trying. Yeah.
See, now.
So does that not have to do with firewall rules?
Exactly,
It's available locally.
Exactly. It could be firewall related issue. Now it's just like you are in a bank now. Those that are working in a bank, there are some things you can do inside the bank. Okay? And if somebody else tries to access it from outside, they will not be able to access it. Okay, I finished from OAU now. In OAU then, if you're connected to OAU Wi-Fi, you can access the portal. Why? Because you don't need internet to access the portal. Okay? Because you are connected to the local network. But once you connect to maybe your MTN Glo and you try to access the portal, you might have issues. I don't know if you get now. So now what we are doing now is there's no limit. We don't have we are checking inside. That is, we are not using internet, we are not using the firewall is not blocking it and all. So that's what this. So now I have to figure out what is really happening. Now, let me see what is happening. Let me tell netport 80 and see if it's connecting. I'm trying to connect. Why am I having this? How can I check if it's even connecting? Ow! How can I troubleshoot this? How can I troubleshoot this? Firewall D. I don't have Firewall D installed by default, so I'm not sure we have Firewall D. Let me see apt search Firewall D. Oh, firewall, sorry. But it's not supposed to be. Since it was running before, so what could stop it? It's a question that's of huge concern to me. It worked before, so why is it not working? So firewall D is not configured, so we don't have firewall. Could it be Linux? Could it be Linux disable? Okay, it is Linux config. I'm not sure this could be it, but let me try. I'm just trying to leverage on my experience here anyway. And besides, all these things, you don't even have to bother about them later, because a lot of this has been really uplifted, with your Dockerization, with your Kubernetes, with a lot of tools. These are just some of the things I just do back then when we were starting DevOps. So that's why I'm still doing this. ls etc. Let me see what we have. Linux. Do we have Linux? Okay, we have Linux. What do you have inside Linux? Okay, so let me cut image and see what we have there. But to be honest, it doesn't really make sense. If it could work before, why did it stop working all of a sudden? This is not what I'm actually looking for. Oh, it's running now. Without doing no, without doing anything.
Wow.
So you see, you just have to be careful. Like you just have to be careful. Like you don't tamper with anything. What's really happening? Try to figure. I'm very careful about what I'm changing. I didn't just change anything. You have to think through it. A lot of people could, just like my guy used to say. I'm here to forget him. Kome. I don't know if he's here. Kome will tell you hammer and spanner method. Like you just break, just snack, you chisel, and you don't want to do that in such an environment. Please, you have to know what you are doing, and it's not all advice on Stack Overflow you also follow. It could crash your server. Let me tell you a quick one. I remember when I started, then we have Python 2, we have Python 3. Python by default comes with your server. Python, it comes by default. Let's see. If I issue a Python command, we should be able to see Python. By default, it comes. Oh, okay, maybe that was CentOS because I used CentOS then. So Python comes with CentOS. And then I was having issues. I installed Python 3. So I want to use Python 3. How can I use Python 3? And I just started following Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow was giving me hammer and chisel method. Remove. That was how I remove all Python 2 libraries. That was how I crashed the server. I'm telling you. Because I was following Stack Overflow. Of course, removing all Python 2 library is a way, but it's disastrous. I just removed Python 2, and me removing Python 2 actually crashed the server. Whereas I should have easily just maybe 2 commands to switch to Python 3. So you have to be really careful. Think through it before you do it. It's very, very delicate. Okay? So that should be it for tonight. Thank you. Thank you for staying through the class. So the last session we actually conclude. We are going to switch to twice in a week to allow people practice. So we plan to do Sunday. Sunday is constant. Either Tuesdays and Sundays, or Thursdays and Sundays. So, but I think Tuesdays and Sundays should be better. That's why we actually did Tuesday today. So our next class will be on Sunday. At least that will enable people to practice ahead of the class. Okay. So thank you for your time. It was nice. It was nice time here. I just have to bring back a lot of memories, which was so good for me too. I hope you have a good one. Enjoy.
Sure.
Thank you too.
Good night.
Thank you so much, Bolu.
Thank you very much.
You are doing well.
Thanks,
Thank-
Bolu.
Record.
Yeah, my baby.